Hi there, Maxime. This is Gilma with Mechnician. I will show you a little bit of the coverage we have for Volvo Penta and also Yanmar for the inboard engines. So we're gonna start with this video and we'll do specifically Volvo Penta. So here's the inboard license. We do have also coverage for outboard stationary engines where you find more engines and different brands than the inboard only and the watercrafts or jet skis. So this is the inboard and I'm going to show you Volvo Penta right here. We have coverage for the D4 and D3 engines. Here you can see it's the EVC system. And there you have also steering system control, help control units, system parameter settings. So it doesn't matter whatever model you have or need, you're good to go. As far as special functions, you can do a cylinder compression test, cylinder cutout, change the configurations, control levers, idle revolutions, and idle speed adjustment, and so on. So you do have the wiring diagrams and a lot more inside available. Let's take a look at the engine control unit. Here's an overview on the engine control unit. You can read the faults right here. You can also clear them. When you read the faults, you have available taking a look at the information pertaining to that specific fault. So you can check when the time the fault happened, the date. Also, here on the question mark, it takes you to more help. It takes you right to the technical data, shows you the component, the location in the engine, and it will give you the wiring diagram location. That the component will be already highlighted, so it's going to be super easy to find. Like this example, there's the connection 44 and 19. And there you can see the pinouts on the ECU, and you can even zoom inside. There shows you where it's located too on the engine. So that's an idea. Like I said on the email, there's lots of troubleshooting, and especially on the engine side. So you can have step-by-step guides on how to do this repair for this specific fault. Takes you to step-by-step instructions. Check this, do this, find this. It's, it will ask you if you still have problems and so on until it's finally clear. So that's an overview of the troubleshooting guides. As far as special, you can do sea trials. You can select live data, make a recording up to 24 sensors, and also do it up to 90 minutes. You can make a recording and it will also show you the faults you have. Here you can see there's a total of 455 different live measurements in this engine. So they range from the engine speed, suspension, information, the brakes, the clutch warning, air conditioning, so on, engine oil, injectors, cylinders, battery, boost pressure, and all of that. So there's plenty to look at. You can actuate components like the preheating relay, system checks like injection evaluation, cylinder balance, compression test, cylinder cutout, compression test, and acceleration, and set parameters. This is one of the most the best things like the injector coating. There's the cylinder one. This is the warning before you do anything. It shows you those parts, and then that will be the modification and so on and so on. So yeah, that's an overview. Let's jump into another system. That's the EECU system. Let's go to the system's parameter settings, selecting the D1 just to check what we can find here. Looks like it's a panel. And here you can do calibrations on the joystick and the control levers. So let's check that out. Here's a document on how to do the calibration. This is another document, adjusted trim limit. So I guess it depends which models you have. This is the helm control unit, the system on the D4. That is the cable you will need, the 520 JDC 527A. And also you can do focal reading here. This is the steering system control unit. You can clear the faults right here. This is an example. Maybe you're familiar with those. And basically, you do have the coverage for the reading and clearing those faults. So yeah, I know this was just an overview on the D4. It was pretty quick. This is the final report at the end of each diagnostic, so it will show you exactly what you did on the engine. There's the information on the faults that we read, any live data we selected, and you can add comments and even pricing. All of this information will be saved under GRP. So you do have like a garage report control where you have all the reports. And also you can add even the fleet list if you have several engines. Now let's check the D3. It's pretty similar as the D4. Let's take a look now at the wiring diagrams. Here you have different models. So I know sometimes people wonder if they're gonna have coverage for their particular diagram. It should. That is no problem. Here's this model. You do have also more data. So let's check the 3200A, and it will give you more information on those on the maintenance. So how to check the stern drive, the engine compartment, the intervals, how many hours, and the electrical system. You will have more technical information too. Here's the engine, the fuel system, lubrication, shows you the capacity, the type of oil, the tightening torques, the cylinder heads, their numbers on the screws, and all of that. So I know that is super helpful. There's the belt diagram and much more. As far as the Yanmar engine, it doesn't show specifically here, like that particular model. However, I found out it's very similar to the 8LV engine control. So it's the basic ECM engine control model. So this would be what the system that you can use. And you can do the fault core reading. Maybe these faults are familiar to you, the numbers. There's the fault, there's the information on the fault when it happened. Here you have some technical data. Here's the engine control unit. You can check if it's similar to the one you have. That's the location on this engine, but remember it's a different model, but this is the image on the control unit. So you do have the wiring diagram available for that one. There it is, the EDC. This is the EDC model. So you do have the technical, the wiring diagram connections. And you have, let's see, besides reading and clearing the faults, you can do live monitoring. So you can do the C trials and record that. There's the ECU data, and you have, of course, the engine information. So yeah, I mean, you can access, it's not specifically shown, but you do have the same ECM model, which is familiar to your engine. So I hope this video was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. If you like a quote, just confirm me the shipping address you need. And we look forward to getting you started with Jaltest and being able to empower your own maintenance and service department. Thank you.